Hello, it's the Toaster Party, and today it's a game of True Draco Budget versus Infernoble. Okay, this is gonna be fun. At least I start first and I have Dragonic Diagram in hand, so I set two and hope for the best. One of those set cards is Crackdown, so I'm feeling pretty good. I also have a Cypherine Gear Gamma in hand, which is why I didn't commit to a monster on field, which means I get to negate their first attempt to try going into isolde. But they get enticed anyway, but I get to take away their copy of isolde, so they do get the search, but they don't get to do much more afterwards. I'm going to then activate True King's Return here, and then sacrifice away the driver and let me summon the copy of Ignis to my side of the field, so now I have two monsters that I can just flip into attack and just start attacking with. I'm going to then tribute away the copy of isolde to get myself a copy of Apocalypse so that I can have an additional form of battle disruption during my opponent's turn. My opponent's going to have another copy of Neospace Connector, getting into Aqua Dolphin, getting into isolde, which I'm going to take again. No purpose giving them basically a halquifibrax, but for this deck only. But this time I'm going to use the Pact of Apocalypse to get rid of both their equip, but then they're going to take away my copy of Ignis Heat. But the God Phoenix Gearfried is not going to be able to attack over the copy of Majesty's Maiden, which then proceeds to attack over the GPG. So my opponent draws, and they have a bunch of extenders. They're going to try going into... Well, actually, I don't think they can go into another assault, because I think they're only running two. But then they see that I'm just going to half the attack of all their monsters, and then reanimate the thing and just attack again, and so they basically just scoop it up here. Back with game two, and as you can see from my opening hand, I wasn't completely thinking when I decided. For some brain dead reason, I was thinking that I was going to be not going second. I should have sided into Kaiju's, or more copies of Kaiju type things than Dinomicious. But I do have a copy of Gamma, which is going to help quite a bit. The Gamma is going to get rid of their first copy of isolde, but they have these fancy Infernoble cards that let them go into isolde and search. And basically, as isolde is basically halquifibrax, they're then going to get to use Link Cross to go into Martial Metal Marcher, getting back the level 2, going into Tatsunoko, Crystron Nebula Fiber, making the Jet Synchron, going into Mechaphia into Beast of Rorodon. They're now locked out of links, but that doesn't matter because they can just keep synchroing from here. My hand is looking not good enough to break a board of multiple negates. I can possibly play through one, but their opponent's going into Borreload Savage Dragon. There's negate number 1. Now if they can just not make a second form of disruption, and then they're going to use the Powerless Charlemagne to get the Smoke Grenade, taking the one card that had an opportunity to be able to do anything, so I'm just going to have to scoop it up here. Back with game 3, and our hand is pretty excellent. We're going to be able to start with Dragonic Diagram, popping the copy of Apocalypse, letting to for an additional draw, letting me get a second copy of Crackdown and one copy of Dynamite. Feeling good here. I get to then search up a copy of Apocalypse, which I'll put straight onto the field, so we'll have some form of battle disruption in case they try going for an OTK. They're going to be able to go into their first copy of isolde here. Then I'm going to use the effect of Apocalypse to tribute itself to then let me summon the copy of Majesty Maiden, tributing away their copy of, or destroying their copy of isolde, and adding an Ignis to hand. They're then going into second copy of isolde, which I am then going to take. They're then going to go into GPG, which I am then going to take. And at this point, I'm sitting pretty nice when I'm going to then tribute off the copy of isolde, but then they're going to scoop it up because they can see that I can fairly easily set up an OTK from here.